Hello, everybody, and welcome to MACH 2024 MTDCNC podcast, Tuesday.
We're here.
Tuesday already.
Hello.
I know, can I just tell you, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm walking down the halls, yawning. I'm done. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Are you? I think I am as well. It's only day 2, but it's been a long couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, but it's great. So this is our podcast. We've got lots of guests coming on to the podcast, just having a chat, really. This is a really relaxed, chilled atmosphere, just to talk about industry and just kind of get the gossip, really, as to what's going on, the show, and getting a little teaser from everyone what's going on with their companies. And we've also got some end users, so people who own the companies coming on just to talk about how they're seeing it from their side and their perspective. So let's just welcome and introduce everybody. Let's start from the far end then, if you don't know who people are. I'll start with myself, actually. My name's Lindsay Vickers. I'm a presenter here at MTDCNC. Joe.
My name's Joe Reynolds. I'm the MD here at MTDCNC, and I can't wait to get started on this podcast.
Yeah,
we've got loads of guests here, haven't we? I'm Rowan East Robinson. Hello, one of the presenters here at MTDCNC. We've done a couple of lives today. You might have seen us on LinkedIn, running around Mac, covering all the technology.
And this is Tim, new presenter at MTD.
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm really pleased to be part of the company, to be honest. And looking forward to my first presentation job.
I didn't know I was getting replaced.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, you didn't know that, Rowan?
No, okay.
Tim's taking over.
I'll head off that way.
I should speak to HR, Rowan.
This is how relaxed we're going. If you want to comment, send in messages. We'd love to hear from you as well. Just to give you a highlight of who's coming on to this, the podcast is, of course, we've got Tim Patterson from Hoffmann, Leader CNC, LK Metrology, Nikon, IMCA. That's quite an exciting story there. And as well is FJH Group, which is Mark Hyde as well. So, right, Tim.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I feel a bit like you. It's been a great but a long 2 days already.
Do you like Mac? Do you like doing the shows?
Yeah, it's great.
You do?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you meet so many people, don't you? So,
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But you get a real mixed answer, I think, when you're talking to people at shows, don't you? It's like some people go, no. But then some people, I think it's so important, because I think this is where everybody, like I said it before, like we go out to companies all the time, but this is where everyone comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the really good things, I've got 2 colleagues here just watching, they really appreciated the beer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Is that why you're here then?
Yeah,
Is that...
you see them smiling, that's why.
I think it loosened them up, allowed them to support you a bit in a bit of a stronger way, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we do, on the MTDCNC stand, try and get everyone gathered together about 4 o'clock. Everyone has a beer, has a bit of a chat, and just talks. It's networking, isn't it, and chatting. Yeah. So, right, let's get a bit more serious then. Sorry, Tim, but Hoffmann, what's happening?
Well, lots really. It's been a great year so far. I know we're only just past Q1, but been a great start for us, and I think that's probably a reflection of the positivity that we see in the market at the minute with manufacturing.
Are you seeing positivity?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's tough.
Yeah.
But I think, UK manufacturing is in growth, which is, not always the case when you look across Europe. And I think we've got so much to offer on a global stage, and for us, having the opportunity to work with businesses that really are progressive, that's what's really made it quite exciting Q1 for us.
Yeah,
I guess you guys are on the front line, really, aren't you? Because even if people don't necessarily have budgets for big machinery, big machine tool investment, they'll always need a new cutting tool, new product to help them run their business day to day. So you're seeing a lot of different companies, not just ones that are spending big money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got a lot of machine tool manufacturers here, and that's where our equipment is used, rather than us selling those particular tools. But I think what's really important for us is we really try and solve some of the challenges that our clients have. So, there's a skills shortage, there's a labour shortage, we've all got to reduce cost. Our approach is, how do we help our clients to be more successful by reducing that cost, be more efficient, more productive, and that that's probably why we're having a great year.
In your toolkit, then, what do you have to help people? And I know that's quite specific, but
how long have you got?
I know, yeah, it's a little bit like that. I'm sorry, but what's the setup for that? Then tell us a little bit more on how you actually go about doing that and helping people.
Well, ultimately, we have a broad range of products, but for me, that's the second piece, really. So, when you look at a manufacturing facility, the actual cost of the tool in itself is so small in comparison to, I think it's about 4%.
Oh, really?
Of, of the overall cost of running a facility. So if you can focus on productivity and efficiency and reducing costs by using the right product, or potentially, where we can help our clients removing tasks that they might have, we can manage those, then ultimately the product itself is the second piece. We've got, great quality, great cost and use, but you have to be able to have an end result that is tangible to the customer. So our approach is about reducing cost and driving productivity and efficiency.
You proved it with people. I remember from MACH a couple of years ago, didn't you do like forgive me, my brain is really fried.
And it's been a long 2 days.
Yeah, it has. But you have proved companies out with that. Like you're on the figures. I remember you go, right, well, they're saving 10% here, they're saving 4% there, and you take everything collectively as a whole and you're working all of that out. I don't think everyone looks at their business like that, because sometimes we have a business and then we just, I'm not saying I have a business here, but it's just like, oh, let's keep going. But you're kind of saying, right, let's slow down, bring it back, let's assess, and then...
Absolutely.
And document it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about what you guys do. Some businesses are struggling to maintain production. They have no time for process development.
Yeah,
and that's why they can leave you guys to... Yeah. It's okay, no worries. It's where you guys step in and offer the service that I guess they get for free, as long as if they buy the products, the
absolutely.
If those MLs are right for the solution.
I mean, ultimately, we're all in business, aren't we? So we have to generate, profit and revenue. But our services come as a package, so we don't charge for the consultation. Obviously, at the end of the day, we want to work with that client. We want to make sure we have sales. But you're absolutely correct. Advising on the right... Yeah, well done.
First time for today, first time this week.
I'm going to try. That was just getting one back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did. Sorry, Rowan.
Is effectively being able to consult with the client to find the right product for the right application that then helps them reduce cost. And that's the critical thing. So it's easy to just sell product. But, and a lot of companies will work so hard on trying to save 10% on what is only 4% of the total cost. So we try and look at, the labour areas, the efficiency of running the equipment, as well as, obviously, have to be competitive with the price. And that can give, we have the data that shows that can save 10 times as much as just a price.
And what happens if people start looking at kind of the hidden costs of... let's say looking around for a spanner when you guys offer obviously shadow boards, just the hidden costs of something that's not part of the machine tool, not part of the cutting tool, not maybe even part of the manufacturing process, but just part of the day-to-day human operations.
I just love what you've said, some of the stats there. It really resonates though, doesn't it?
It's fascinating. So what percentage of would you say like human operations people that machine tool owners might not really consider when they're actually trying to optimize cutting tools?
Well, with cutting tools, the main thing we would focus on is actually the process time. So if it's cutting tools, how many components, what's the run time, etc., etc. But then you have the human part of managing that. So if you was to take one of our inventory and tooling management packages, just as to give you an idea, we could easily prove how you could save £60,000 a year just with one solution, and that's looking at the cost of labour, etc.
And how do you break that down? So what kind of problems would a customer be having right now that would lead them to this solution? So
you mentioned it, availability. How much time having the right product
at the
right
a spanner
place.
Or...
Well, I was thinking more cutting tools.
Insert. I'm missing the insert.
Yeah.
And a spanner.
It could be a spanner, but
sorry.
We all are.
So, anything that is required in the production process could be a spanner.
Could be. Thank you. You're backing me up.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
You're getting a hard time.
Stay MTD, Tim. You can stay.
He's got a new job here. That's it.
He's just trying to save his job.
Yeah,
That's all.
Take Lindsay's job instead.
Joe's chomping at the bit in the corner.
You want to ask a question,
Joe's here.
And Rowan keeps talking.
Sorry.
You've asked most of my questions.
I'll shut up now.
But just because obviously you've got a vast array of not just cutting tools, work hold and PP, lots of other things. Is there any hot spots on the stand? Are people leaning towards the cutting tools here at the show, or maybe some work holding? Is it
I would say the main interest we're getting is in two areas. No? 3. I would say, obviously our cutting tools, which is our biggest range, Probably not that well known in the UK. Our brand's Garant and Holex. However, if you was to go into Europe, it's the third largest cutting tool brand. So, we have, a lot of interest in that. Secondly, I would say our inventory management and tool control systems are driving the most interest. And then lastly, well, not unimportant, is our workstation storage and tool control as well. So I think those three areas probably were getting the most discussions and interest, but it's been so busy. We haven't had time to actually assess all the leads yet.
Yeah, you've got to now work your own magic on your own company. And go,
or somebody who knows what they're doing well anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have to cut you short now
because
because we've got quite a few people.
More.
Yeah, we have. We've got people waiting around to come on. Tim, it's a pleasure, as always. Can I just say, we've been to your facility, haven't we laughed when we've done some of the videos?
Lot. Yeah.
It's good
Tell
fun.
them some of your jokes.
No,
Cindy.
absolutely not. They're X-rated. They're absolutely not. On that note, bye, Tim.
Right.
Anyway, cheers, Tim.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Tim.
And and good luck with the job.
Oh, thank you. We'll see. Good job hunting me.
Yeah, see you, Tim. Honestly, Is that a clap for Tim going or you arriving, James?
I was just about to say that.
Well, it's not for me to say.
I've seen you, James, right?
You have?
I see you sporadically, and now I've seen you twice in about 5 days.
Is that good or bad?
Great.
Again, not for me to say, is it?
James, can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. I'm James Leet, Sales Director at Leader CNC Technologies.
And we went out to Leader CNC just last week, didn't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, at the new showroom.
We did.
Which, since you saw it last week, has now got carpet tiles on the floor, fully decorated. We are good to go.
Good to go. Where have you put? Because I went in and went, well, you could put this there and you could put that there. Is that thing on the wall yet that I said or not?
Do you know what? That idea has been adopted. The plan is in place and it will be going on the wall.
Is it really?
Yes, yeah.
Lindsay, invoices in the post.
Yeah.
I was like, right, if that's not going to be used, you should put that on the wall in it.
That's the plan.
I'm bossy. Do you feel sorry for my husband?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I've got one like that as well. So.
Yeah, it's fine. James, tell us a little bit more about this new adventure that you're on, because you've been in this industry quite some time.
I have. I was working out earlier. My first Mac was in 1978. I think I've got that year right. I wasn't exhibiting. I came with my dad. But that was my first experience of it. So
I was -1 just to cheer you up.
Well, yeah.
-1 then.
Yeah. We bought a Nakamura TMC4. That was, I remember that distinctly. So,
that's
and that machine still works. I know where it is. So there you
know
go.
what? I've just walked the aisles and a gentleman, he was 75, and he just came over to me and went, "Hi, Lindsay, how are your girls?" It's crazy, but like watching our videos and stuff like that. But he's retired and he's still coming to Mac because he loves it so much.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. It's such a good community.
It is, yeah. And in answer to your question, so what's different in the world? Well, Leader CNC Technologies, they've been around 26 years, and we're not actually changing what Leader are, or the heart of Leader. It's very much an engineering-based company. We're very, very good at fixing machines, refurbishing machines, repurposing machines in some ways, but we also have a very, very strong portfolio of high-end products. What's new is that we're slightly rebranding ourselves, slightly repositioning ourselves for a more volume market. We've just got another agency in Metronics UK, which I'm also a director of. That's exciting news. So Metronics have been around since 1973, but they've never really had a presence in the UK. And this allows us to open up a lot more doors. So our 3 door opening products with Leader CNC Technologies now are going to be Metronics, Takumi, which come out of the same factory, so that pedigree works really well together.
Machines.
They are a cracking machine, absolutely cracking machine. And also the DMC lathe, FFG DMC, an absolutely stonking lathe product. So, but beyond that, we can get into all sorts of specialist kit as well. But what I really want to put across is our offering of service, repair, breakdown, because one way that customers can get to know, like, and trust Leader is to test us out on breakdown services, service work, especially in the sort of local Midlands area. That way, you can get to see how we engineer things, how we turnkey things, and how we look after customers.
I'm sure the guys have got some questions. I liked something
go on
you
then.
said to me last week, though. You did say we're not out for making money on spares and service.
Yeah, you did pick up on that, didn't you?
I think so, yeah. I just like it. I've not heard it before.
Well,
and it's quite rare when people admit to not wanting to make too much money on a certain part of the business, because that's, I guess, is that because you want to provide a service that is actually so valuable that people want to come back and then will buy a machine from you, and that's how you build a relationship?
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of sort of honesty and integrity behind that. Of course, we want to make money. Businesses that don't make money go bust. So we have to have a robust business model that makes a profit. But what we've seen, we're in a unique position to be able to do this. We're not a volume machine tool sales organisation, so we don't need a tremendous amount of revenue from follow-up spare parts business. And one of the reasons why I was quite happy to take on the agency for Metrology is because their ethos is very much about support the machine with low-cost spare parts. We fix it rather than part swap. We're honest about the price of these spare parts, because what we want is the brand to be well thought of. What we want to do at Leader is we want to do something good in the industry. We want to do something good for the industry. Yes, of course, we need to make money. We need to pay our overheads. We need to charge for our services. But what we would rather do is fix somebody's machine with a reasonably priced spare part and support that machine, knowing full well that brand's going to get talked about, Leader are going to get talked about, and we've done something good in the industry. We've had a bit of fun while we do it, but it's serious fun, which is a subtle play on words. There's a bit of branding. I might have to put that in somewhere. I've not thought about that before.
There you go.
Serious fun.
Serious fun.
And how serious is good service and support on machinery like this? Because I guess company owners, like machine shop owners, they don't want to really think much about the machines having to breaking down, because they want to think about production.
Well, they do. Now, I've sat on both sides of the fence. I've worked in a family business that was a subcontract machine shop, and I know the pain. And there, dare I say it, there is a lot of room potentially for resentment toward machine tool companies from that quarter. I get that. Subcontractors are really up against it. They're up against time, money, their hourly rates, their margins are tight.
I guess a machine breakdown could almost make a company go bust.
Absolutely could. Of course it could. So if a machine is down, they're not earning money. So to then be asked to actually spend thousands and thousands of pounds to fix a machine, that hurts. And I've been in that position. It does hurt. But that's the reality. These things are thousands and thousands of pounds to fix. So what we've tried to do, we're a smaller business, we're an agile business. We've got some cracking brand new products to sell, but we want those customers to be able to, again, I'll use the phrase, know, like and trust us for an organisation that will help them. That hopefully will then lead to some machine tool sales, some repeat business, and we've done something good in the industry. And more importantly, the industry has got more subcontractors out there working.
James, an old friend of yours, told me that the other day, and you will make and said James will make it a success.
Well, I hope so. I'd like to think that energy is there. That's
sounds like there's no doubt about it, James. You've got to live up to that now, I'm afraid.
Well,
we've got a few witnesses.
I'm only 23. That's why I've got a haircut like this.
Brilliant.
When you look at the Metrology range, obviously saturated market. I don't know how many brands there are. 50 brands probably here in the UK representative. Yep. Obviously, you obviously feel there's room for one more. So what is it makes them different? How you go? I take your point about service and all the rest of it. But if we look at the machine tool itself.
Well, the machine tool itself, it does sit in that range of volume machine tools. So what sets it apart, the control, I would say 100% is fantastic. It's fully conversational, very FANUC based. You could, if you're a longhand FANUC programmer with G-code, you could jump on there and be very, very comfortable with it. But the control sells it beautifully, backed up by some really heavy ironwork as well. So it's a solid, robust machine. Price point is where you would expect it to be. It's not going to suddenly come in and carve up the market as a cheap machine tool. But what's exciting for me is that it sits beautifully in the portfolio of Leader products. Leader have an astonishing range of high quality products that you can't open every door with. But Metrology, I can have a grown-up conversation with just about every subcontract machine shop in the country about a Metrology product. And if they then turn around and say, yeah, but James, I want a vertical borer, no problem. I'll get the other catalogue out.
That's it. James, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
There's
you.
lots of people
thanks for coming on.
who's going to come on, so I do feel like I have to cut it short.
Absolutely, no problem.
A huge round of applause, and thank you for having us in the other day to do the film.
You're welcome.
It's
Look
great
forward to seeing
see
that.
it.
Thank you. Cheers.
And good luck with it all.
Yeah.
It's going to be a resounding success, apparently.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Absolutely. Watch this space.
No pressure.
Now, another person who I've seen recently, Roy. It's only a few weeks ago we saw you. I saw James last week, and now I'm seeing you.
It was. I'm like a bad penny, I'm afraid. I just keep turning up.
You just keep turning up. We all need pennies.
Yeah.
Right, Roy, can you introduce yourself? Where are you from, so everyone knows? who you
Okay,
are?
so Roy Maidment, I work for Nikon Metrology, and I'm based in the UK, but I'm the European Sales Director.
I went to your facility the other day, Roy, and I thought your opening speech about what you do and the launch of your new product was fantastic.
But terribly kind. That's nothing that I'm going to be able to repeat today.
Please do.
It's all in the heat of the moment.
Oh, we've got.
It's now
Barricades.
closed, 5
Barricades
Oh,
are
that's it,
everywhere.
right, we're
Oh
done.
my
We're
gosh.
done.
Oh, thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you.
now.
Yeah.
You're all beautiful.
Right, okay. Roy, tell us a little bit more about what's happening with Nikon and a little bit more about what you're doing at your facility.
Okay, so Nikon Industrial Metrology is based around 3 different business units. I work for the laser radar one, and that basically means non-contact absolute measurement. Essentially, CMM measurement on the shop floor without any temperature control, without any lighting control, whether it's manual, whether it's automated, or whether we use it for contract measurement. It's a very, very sophisticated solution.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a demo of it, and unfortunately the demo doesn't quite do it justice, does it? The demo's watching this robot move, this beautiful object around a car.
It's dull.
I'm glad you said it,
little
not me.
bit
I'm glad
dull.
you agreed with me. I thought I was almost getting
I think
myself
that's
out on a limb
why I
there.
liked him talking about it, though, because he was just brutally honest.
Yeah, but it's not interesting.
But the intellect is in the product.
It doesn't need to be flashy. So a lot of our, let's put it a different way. A lot of systems on the market, they move around a lot, and they do a lot of activity. We don't do that based on the way that the system works. But what we bring to the table, which a lot of other companies don't, is absolute measurement. And a lot of the automotive world are very, very interested in that because it's something that, up until now, they haven't been able to realise.
Yeah, and there's quite a lot of
Aerospace as well.
disbelief. Sorry.
No, you go.
I remember you mentioned there was a bit of disbelief where someone would try the Nikon laser scanning product. It's not quite laser scanner though. It's something.
Does a little
more
bit of
niche.
both. Does a little bit of both. Yeah.
And they took a CMM, and they actually didn't believe when you said absolute measurements. They didn't believe. They tried to run 2 processes inspecting at the same time. But they didn't believe that the Nikon product was absolute, but. Eventually, they were able to scrap the CMM.
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, the way that we work in principle is as a group. So I'm head sales guy. We have a healthy distrust for salespeople.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever
we
work,
all should, right?
Absolutely. So whenever we work with new customers, we always basically ask them for a part because we want a demo. We want to show them what we can do. Very typically, we put up against CMMs, and I don't want to say it too loud, but laser trackers. And we hold our ground, we go toe to toe with all of those equipment and show that as a measurement solution, we can be just as effective as the traditional systems, but right in the middle of the process, which is where people want to measure.
Yeah, absolutely. Right in process, so you don't get 50 wrong components, just one potentially wrong component, then you can fix the process straight away.
Correct. If you're working on an absolute system, but it takes you 15 minutes to arrive at a okay or a not okay, that's not really process control.
Sure.
No, it's 15 minutes by production.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes of scrap. Or let's say 15 minutes of agony while somebody decides whether you should take a part out or whether you shouldn't. And that, unfortunately, a lot of times in manufacturing leads to people saying, do you know what, let's not. Let's just risk it. And if you're going to do that, you might as well not have any metrology in the first place.
Sure, and if you can't measure it, you can't sell it, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. It's all often overlooked, isn't it, metrology and measurement? And
it's seen as a non-value add, unfortunately, right up until the point that you build a load of scrap and you can't ship anything. Then it's kind of high value add.
Yeah, absolutely. And automotive as a sector is obviously really important here in the UK as well as around the world.
Yes.
And that the laser scanner is really applicable to automotive because of the sheer volumes that need to be measured and monitored.
Well, not only that, I think I've worked in the automotive world for around about 20 years, a little bit more. And the holy grail has always been absolute measurement within the production line. Now, there's a number of different ways or a number of different efforts to realise that, and none of them in my, let's say, working life have been that successful. It's one thing that is very, very different about our product that we bring to the market, because it is absolute. You can put it in the middle of your shop floor and it will give you absolute data. I can't say it any plainer than that.
And what I love about your team at the Nikon site as well that we visited is that quite a lot of them have a lot of ex-automotive knowledge and experience. You know, they're not just graduates, they're maybe graduates, but they've also had 7, 10, even more than that years in the automotive industry, just like yourself. If
you look at all the members of the team that we've got, they've been brought on board specifically because of their automation, automotive and metrology knowledge.
Try and say that really, really quickly.
No. And if you take everybody together, we've got over 100 years of experience. Yeah. Now, we've got some older people, we've got some younger people, I'm one of the older ones, obviously. But we've got a kind of.
No, sorry, that came out. Was the filter?
No.
But we've got a really good group and a lot of experience. Young at heart, old in practice, unfortunately.
Not at all.
Experience.
No, but we've got a really good group that has been pretty much put together for the task at hand, which is working in the automotive.
Yeah, I love visiting the Nikon site.
It was really cool.
Like you say, the
really
seconds count, don't they? Automotive in particular. Yep. You know, with production lines and things like this, you can't stop. Seconds count.
I've always worked in the automotive world, and I've worked at different areas. So across the fence, I've worked in manufacturing body and wine. So I know the difficulties of manufacturing. I know the difficulties of ship import product. And it just kind of underlines why metrology is really, really important.
So what I find fascinating, I think automotive is probably the pinnacle of human manufacturing, because it's kind of the max complexity with the max volume. Yep. You imagine like making a space rocket.
I've never thought about that.
Space rocket's really complex, but you make 1 or 2 or 3 of them. Different pressures. And making computers is kind of complex, but and high volume, but not as complex. Like a car has to have a computer in it and be waterproof and drive properly and feel right and be comfortable and look nice and they have right gaps. There's like a million different things compared to a computer or a space rocket, and you have to make hundreds of thousands of them a year. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
It's probably the most complex piece of equipment that most people come into contact with on a daily basis. Yeah. And most people have got no idea how they're put together. And
I have no idea how they're put together.
For me, it's really interesting. I don't like to say that out loud, but for me, it's super interesting because there's all kinds of engineering involved. There's all kinds of technology challenges, chemistry. It's a really interesting sort of field.
Right then, thank you so much, Roy. What are you going to do now? Are you going to go out for a meal? Are you going to relax? Or are you going to go home to bed?
I'm going to go and have a lie down in a dark room.
You can play some Mecha Bingo afterwards, though. What's happening?
Did you just say Mecha Bingo?
Yeah.
Love a Mecha Bingo.
Too rich for my blood.
Really?
Too rich.
I don't know how much it is to go to Mecha Bingo.
I'll tell
we
you
can go together for the first time, right?
I like Mecha Bingo. Don't start me. Right, okay. Thank you so much, Roy, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you. Right.
Beautiful, Thank you, Roy. I can't believe I called him old. I didn't mean it just came out.
Your mouth just is very...
Hello. That's the first time.
Hello.
Hello. How is everybody doing? Nice to see you all again.
Yes, we're neighbours, aren't we?
We certainly are. Absolutely.
Why are we neighbours, Steve?
Well, we're literally just a stone's throw away.
Closer.
Well, literally a stone's throw away.
A stone's throw away. You're next door.
We certainly are.
Okay, can you introduce yourself to anyone who doesn't know who you are?
Right, okay. So my name's Steve Shakel. I'm the UK Sales Marketing Director for LK Metrology.
Yeah. And we've worked with you for quite some time.
You certainly have, we've done some really good video material.
Yeah, we have.
Good promotional stuff.
How long ago was it when we went to Ireland?
We've been to Ireland, the Lotus story.
Lotus.
That was really good.
That was fantastic.
That's a brilliant video.
And do you remember coming to our factory and we had the cake, remember?
Oh, yes. Don't talk to me about cake. No, I remember that.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was
and
good.
Was it you knocked our power off yesterday? Just about to open the show. We lost power for 20 minutes.
Wasn't us. No,
I think it was.
No, I don't know.
Do you like
somebody
the
plugged the mobile phone in.
Words of a guilty man.
Yeah.
Steve, do you like the shows?
Yes, I do. I mean, for me, obviously, it's only every 2 years, so we have to really make the most of it. We obviously put a bit of investment in. And for us also, we're a UK manufacturer, so it's good for us to promote ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course, you've seen lots of companies here that represent themselves, but there's lots of people coming in to buy machine tools, and sometimes they forget about the metrology aspects of it. So it's always been good to be here
It's always good to be here to present LK, obviously a UK manufacturer, and hopefully get our name out there a bit more, which is good.
What's happening for yourself in the marketplace? What's happening?
Yeah, so lots of things really. I mean, we're constantly developing our products. So we've recently relaunched a new range of entry-level machines with even better accuracy. So first-time accuracy 1.3 microns. So as we know, machine tools are very accurate, but the CMMs have got to be even more accurate.
Yes.
So we've just done that. We're launching some new probing technology, probe change racks. The software has been developed quite extensively. We're doing more with PMI data, so where you're designing products with the product manufacturing information. So when you bring the CAD model in, rather than just being a dumb CAD model, we can bring in all the information like the design, GD&T, tolerancing. So when you come to program to measure the part, half the information is already there. So it makes it a lot easier from that perspective. Yeah. Less mistakes. And the reporting then is a lot more involved because you can see clearly where things are going out.
We were talking about PMI data today with a company called Cloud NC, who in the future they want to try and automate probing cycles and whatnot. Is that something probing program?
I mean, ultimately, the more you can actually put into the CAD, the easier it is to do the part programming. I think we're never going to be 100% there where you're not going to need a part programmer. There's always going to be somebody there to make sure that the machine's not going to run into a clamp that's not in the CAD model or stuff like that. And there's always a little bit more to do with optimization as well. So ultimately, you create a part program. If you automate that, there's always a little bit where you can eke out some time here and there when you've got, obviously reduced cycle times. You're trying to do things in seconds rather than minutes. So.
Just in your opinion, why do you think it's been taking so long to try and integrate PMI data into the kind of the whole manufacturing process, not just kind of the big manufacturers who are using kind of Siemens NX and CATIA, who are already using the PMI?
Yeah, a good question actually. I mean, but what we generally find is that it starts with the designer. So if you think about if a designer doesn't have the knowledge of GD&T, he's not likely to put that into the
Could you explain GD&T? What is that?
So geometrical design and tolerances. So ultimately, if I want to measure a part, I need to know where's the datum structures, where's the ABC datums. Once I know where they are, then obviously I need to know where all the tolerances lie, because certain parts have got different scale tolerances depending on what type of feature it is, and all of that information is usually on the drawing. But it's not necessarily always in the CAD model.
I think we could probably start a comment war here. It's who's smarter, the machinist or the inspector? That's definitely like that's
I'm not getting involved in that
debate as old as time, right?
I'm going to be honest. This is mind blowing.
Or what's more complicated, even not who's smart. What's more complicated?
Well, I did serve my time as a touring machinist. I did do a little NC machine. But
so I've spent both sides of the argument.
But I've also spent most of my life on the measurement side of things. So. Yeah, that was always the dreaded inspector, isn't it? The guy would make something and it's got to get through inspection, unfortunately the inspector...
sweating at the machine when you come back and say, yes,
absolutely.
That's good.
Of course, the inspector get the blame for making it wrong. It's like, well, no, I've just checked it and stopped it going to the customer.
No one knew it was wrong until you touched it.
No, exactly that. Yeah.
Where's the blame to be placed?
Well,
you never know.
That's it, yeah.
Right. Joe, anything to add?
I literally runs out and just asked again. That's what my question, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, mate, I may play. How's the market for you, LK? How's the market at the moment?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, what we're seeing is obviously still coming out of COVID, there's been lots of changes in the marketplace. For me, if you look at the aerospace industry, crashed totally with COVID because obviously there's no commercial flights going out of there. So the aerospace industry now, they're trying to obviously catch up. So that's quite a booming market for us. Appreciate there's lots of conflict going around the world at the moment, so there's lots of military projects that are investing at the moment as well. And we kind of specialise in those fields and areas because of the volume and size. Ultimately, our machines are generally the bigger size. We use ceramic technology, so that means we can build bigger machines and still maintain accuracy. So that's quite a good market space for us at the moment. So, yeah, we're enjoying that. It's good.
Steve, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you for coming on, as always.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure too.
Yeah, and you're a stone's throw away from us here. We're in Hall 19, aren't we? Hall 19 here at MACH. So if you are joining us over the next few days, then please do go on to Steve's stand at...
Which is 540, which is next door.
I don't even know our number. Sorry.
549.
549, there we go.
Brilliant.
Right. Steve, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve. Pleasure.
Cheers.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Good to see you again.
The show's shut and we're still going. It's fabulous.
No worries.
Yes. Right, the next gentleman on here he is. Hello. Hey. Okay, Andrea, can you introduce yourself then to everybody?
Yes.
Be really super
Hello,
close
everyone.
to that.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So, Andrea Psotti, I'm working for IMCA. It's bar feeder company, and we are part of Bucci Industries. Bucci Industries Group is the holding company for IMCA and the bar feeder business that we do. We have recently opened an office.
This is the news. This is the news, everyone.
This is why I'm here.
Yeah.
So we have recently opened an office in Cheltenham, UK, and so we have now Bucci Industries UK that is dealing with all of the bar feeder needs, let's say, for the market. So we are pleased to announce this through the podcast.
Yeah. Brand new news.
Well done, congratulations.
Big round of applause.
Yeah,
Thank you. So,
it's really exciting, Andrea.
Exciting news for us.
And what is it about IMCA bar feeders that you guys work with, and what are you trying to bring them to how are you bringing them to the UK?
So, absolutely, we are going to import them and work through any kind of request. IMCA has been historically one of the first bar feeder companies being made, and what we try to do is to bring the best product we can provide in terms of engineering, reliability, and technical support. Everything is going to be supported here in the UK. Technical service and spare parts are going to be here, as well as a sales team that is going to go around and visit people.
And what state is the office in? How many are you hiring service engineers? Have you got
well,
some
we're
yet?
trying to hire service engineers.
Yeah.
Yes,
you have to do a job,
as much as we can. I don't know. It seems to be a challenge every time, but it's good. It's good to finally meet engineers from the UK and see how people are.
So if you're looking for a service engineering job, you like bar feeding, then
absolutely, please
contact
us.
Psotti.
Absolutely.
Sales engineer roles.
Yes,
sales manager roles.
Yes. So, frankly, we've got it covered. Service engineer, please contact us, and that would be very nice.
Led on to that.
I'm just trying to help these guys out,
We offended you.
It's
Thank you. You have to do well.
That sounds an interesting role.
Yeah, but that's very nice.
Yeah, in terms of technology itself.
Yeah.
Clearly, most people watching this are going to be aware of bar feeders, but tell us about your bar feeders. What's the range look like?
Yes, so basically we can range, we have bar feeders for every kind of application, starting from 0.2 millimeter bars, so we're basically working spaghetti bars, and up to 100 millimeter bars, 3 meter. We do applications for 12 feet, 4 meters, 6 meter, 20 feet, 24 feet special application. And we work in all sort of machines, basically. Of course, lathe, we're talking about turning or special application. But we're talking about sliding egg machine. We're talking about fixed headstock machines, bigger diameter stuff. We're talking about multi-spindle. All of these bar feeder are built in Italy, imported here, and supported here.
Absolutely.
It's important to say, although you're new here to the UK, you've got many installations here in the UK already.
Absolutely. This is, let's say, a new startup. This is a new company that we have. But in reality, IMCA has been present here in this market for over 30 years. And so nothing is changing in terms of the product that we are bringing and the quality that we have.
Just more growth and more support.
Absolutely. Hopefully, yes. And I'm part of it, so I'll be...
Are you going to be based here in Cheltenham, or are you going to be living...
Well, I'm going to be living in Italy, and the team here in Cheltenham will be in Cheltenham, let's say, supporting the car. But I reckon I'll visit Cheltenham
flying
quite
over
often.
every now and then.
Absolutely.
Andrea, can I just ask you, the Bucci Industries, can you just explain a little bit more as the connection there? I think you explained it at the beginning, just so I can understand it a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, Bucci Industries is a family-owned company in Italy, based in Faenza. And the family actually invested and purchased the IMCA quite a while ago, and founded. Well, actually, Mr. Bucci founded IMCA in 1961, and a few years ago they decided to open Bucci Automations as the holding company, and we are still family-owned company, and we are still, let's say, managed by Mr. Bucci. And alongside that, there is a vision of being much closer to customers, to the market. And that's why what we're trying to do is have our own offices spread around the world where we can bring our strategies and products and support them the way that we would like them to be supported.
Absolutely.
And so there are other divisions within the group which are helping us, but the main focus here for the UK is the IMCA bar feeder.
And are we going to see you more on camera?
Hopefully, yes.
We're doing some filming tomorrow. Oh, no, I'm with Giancarlo tomorrow, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
so you are all invited to our stand and our booth, I should say.
Because you're Italian, what's on the stand? Is there going to be...
Well, it's going to be coffee, of course. All sorts of coffee. and no, I'm bar feeders.
Yeah,
so we're going to have a few different products there, and we're showing them. So everyone that is watching and wants to... Come to us. Yep.
So if someone's watching and they want to come to MACH tomorrow or Thursday, Friday, what stand are you at?
At 2408. And, that's they're going to see us and they're going to see the bar feeders we have.
Absolutely brilliant. Right. Yeah. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Andrea. Appreciate it. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, good luck. Congratulations.
Right. One more guest. The show has closed, by the way. But we still keep going. Right, he has waited so long to go on. Can we just quickly have Mark just to say, can we get Mark on? Mark, come on. Mark, will you just come and say a little hello? Just a little hello, come on.
You sat there eating our sweets, I think.
This gentleman has been sitting, waiting patiently. How many beers have you had, Mark? 8. You had 8? 7?
Significantly this could be quick.
Well, I did say, and I did promise that not only would we have companies come on here, selling products and stuff, but someone actually who uses the products would be coming on to see life and manufacturing from your perspective. And it's perfect that you're here, and thank you for going on.
That's all right.
Mark, tell us what's going on with your company and everything. So it's FJH Group.
Yes. So we're trying to now fill a gap, is super close. Bring it a bit closer.
Sorry.
So we're now looking to fill a gap. So we're looking at the application support. So we understand that lots of people like we have got shortfalls in skill sets in engineers and application support, work holding, fixturing, and just being able to get a customer comes along and they want you to make a part for in whichever industry that is, whichever business. There's a massive skill shortage in engineering.
Yeah.
So what we do is try and fill that gap.
Right.
You don't always need a full-time engineer to be able to do something that takes 2, 3, 4 weeks to implement, 6 months to implement, and then the next project goes away. And it's it's about us trying to fill the void of the availability of engineers on the market.
And how are you doing that then?
So we're doing everything from start to finish. So turnkey is basically the phrase I'm looking for.
Okay.
Turnkey solutions. So projects we've worked on in the past is a customer will say, we've got a product we've got to introduce into our business. We don't have the skill sets that we need to be able to introduce that. So we'll go in, we'll provide the work holding, design and manufacture. We partner very closely with Brown & Holmes in Tamworth.
Yes.
So all of our work holding and fixturing, design, manufacture are done by those guys because they're without doubt some of the best on the market. We then go into the customer, we'll deliver that sort of work holding fixturing solution, we'll program. We've just recently become partners with Mastercam.
Yes.
So they're now our cam solution, which ultimately is what we'll try and drive to our customer base as well. And then we give them that green button. I hate the word green button, but we try and give them as close as possible a green button process, so they can just hand it over to their operators, their skilled team in house, and it just takes away that risk for those guys. And that's
sounds like Uber application, doesn't it? So you get your phone out, dial it. Where's my application engineer? Oh, here he is.
Yeah. And we've seen it. I've been in the industry for 22 years, and there's less and less young engineers coming through industry because STEM's not really pushed in schools, or certainly not a lot of schools. So we see it was something we set our businesses up on, was that skill shortage. I had that problem when I was working on projects for Rolls-Royce and the likes of Bromford Industries in Birmingham when it was. You're working on projects where you've got X amount of parts to get through the system within 3 months, and you've only got a finite team to be able to work with.
You're stretched.
Yeah. So if you can then go and sort of call on a subcontract resource that just can support you for a period of time, that just fills those gaps of some way that you don't have it. So we can do full turnkey, or we can do the individual bits. So through the Brown & Holmes side of where we're working with, they can do the work holding, the fixturing. If that's all you need, great.
Great.
So this is for existing machines or existing people's shop floors?
Yeah. Or if they've got, we're working with a customer at the moment where they're reshoring from Poland. So they're setting up a new machine shop. They've got, they're struggling to get hold of the skill sets in the area that they're in. So they've called on us and they've said, look, all we need is somebody to come and help us set that initial craziness up. Get the machines, get the right machines for the job, have a look at automation, try and de-risk the process as much as possible. Then when we get to the end, it's great, you hand us over, you can go away, we'll carry on and run as a business.
Am I right in saying, and forgive me if I'm not saying, it's like more like consultancy? Is that what you're basically saying?
Yeah, exactly. So we can do the processing for them, so we can just generate everything and then just hand it over at the end. But then we also we'll work with their teams. So if you're not looking, if you've got a team of engineers already that perhaps are lacking in a certain area or the skill, they haven't got the skill sets to do a certain thing, we'll just come and work with that team and get the job up and running. Yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely. It's fascinating that you can work with existing machines, go into a machine shop, because normally a turnkey solution would be, okay, we sell you the machine, fixturing, the process, the cutting tools as a complete package, and if you suddenly start dealing with this machine, it's been in the machine shop for 5 years, got this problem with it maybe, you're opening yourself up to it. There's a lot of complexity there. You're taking a lot more risk than just saying, we'll just do a greenfield project for you. Greenfield being like, totally fresh.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of benefit of working with us, really. We've worked in many companies, lots of different industries, on lots of different machine tools, from Mazak to Makino to, just about everybody. And working on machines for now the last 20 odd years, we've worked on lots of different controls. So, way back to 640M on Mazatrol and getting into the new Siemens 840D or Heidenheim ITNC 640, we're familiar with all of those different platforms, and I think that kind of is where we sort of market ourselves, which is
people can outsource the experience, the machining experience, to you guys, because that can be quite costly and take a long time to develop yourself. Can't it?
But it's a good point. You don't necessarily need that skill set within your business, do you? It's crazy that sounds. You bring you in for a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever the contract period is, and you go away and I won't say lesser skilled, but someone with a different skill set, runs the parts off.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't always need that high cost, high skill set once you've implemented the project. Especially if you're working on automation, the idea is that the automation takes care of most of it. The guys are just looking after tooling, they're looking after toolware, consumables, or whatever aspect of their job that it is, loading raw material. It brings the cost of the job down for the end user as well. So for us, we've always, certainly in industries I've worked in, you've needed that. You've needed just somebody to come in and just say, right, what's the right way to do it? When we get exposed, with the likes of coming to MACH, we're avid followers of the MTD, so we see the new technologies, the changes that are happening all the time. So we get to implement that sort of stuff in what the projects we work on, which means your guys don't have to. That's kind of how we work.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, good luck with it all.
And it's good to give you exposure as well, because that's something different. You don't hear this every day, do you?
No, not at all. No.
Right.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You know what? The show
Thanks for jumping on.
The show has closed. We've just had an announcement that there's forklift trucks going round, and we're still going. How wonderful is that? So, what are you going to do tonight, Rowan?
I think we're going to go for some food and then go and see a film.
You're going to go see a film?
I was hoping to go do bingo, some pub quiz or something.
You just say bingo.
Well, bingo was
I can help
a
you with that.
callback to something.
When it comes to bingo,
she's a bingo queen,
I like
I've been
bingo.
told.
I like. And what about
I've
yourself,
never been to bingo.
Mark?
We have got 2 children patiently awaiting at home, so that's where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Very mature of them to
2
be
dogs,
patiently
which will be
waiting.
far more excited to see us than the
That's
children,
rock and roll
I'm
for you, isn't it?
And Joe, what's on your agenda?
Joe, I haven't given it a second thought just yet.
No,
I haven't stopped for
no.
a second, literally. Apart from when Rowan keeps, when I try and talk. But yeah, no, joking aside, early night with a bit of luck.
Yeah,
How about yourself?
That'd be good. I'm the same as you. 2 children at home that need me because my husband is tearing his hair out. Thank you for watching. We will be back on air tomorrow bringing you coverage of MACH 2024. We'll be going live across different stands, but we'll also be doing this podcast again at 4 onwards in the afternoon, so stay tuned.